Right, so get this. Today, we're going deep on something kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb phones.
Yeah.
You know, those like super simple phones, almost retro now. They're making a comeback. And it's particularly interesting in like the Nordic countries.
Yeah.
Places you'd think are all about the latest tech.
Exactly. It's fascinating, isn't it?
Totally.
I mean, why would you ditch a smartphone for something, well, less capable?
Right. That's what we're going to figure out.
Exactly.
And we've got some cool perspectives to work with here.
Yeah.
We've got some academic research, real in-depth stuff on what it's actually like to disconnect. And then we've got like actual dumb phone advertising.
Oh,
So
interesting.
we can see what they're promising.
Right. The ideal versus the reality.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really interesting to see this happening in Scandinavia. You know, they're usually so quick to jump on new tech, but this is different.
Totally.
It's not about rejecting technology completely. It's more about like being mindful, you know?
Yeah, being intentional about how you use it.
Exactly. In a world that's constantly trying to connect you.
So what we'll be looking at today is how do these simple phones, you know, the dumb phones,
Yeah.
actually stack up against all these promises they make? Like being more focused, less distracted.
Especially in a place like Sweden,
Right.
where almost everything is digital.
So let's start with like the allure, right?
Yeah.
Why are people ditching their fancy smartphones for these more basic devices?
Yeah, question.
Yeah, like why are dumb phones suddenly cool?
Well, the marketing tells a pretty compelling story, you know?
Okay.
There are three main themes that keep popping up.
All right.
Simplicity, aesthetics, and robustness.
Okay, I'm all ears. Break it down.
So simplicity is the big one.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about freedom from distractions.
That makes sense.
Less scrolling, more
Good.
focus, more time to just be, you know,
Okay.
it's almost like a counter movement to this always-on world.
Right, we're constantly bombarded with stuff. But how do the different brands, like, approach this?
Yeah.
Because they're not all selling the same kind of simplicity, are they?
That's what's so interesting. Each brand has a slightly different angle.
Okay.
Like, take the light phone. Their tagline is, designed to be used as little as possible.
Wow.
It's pretty bold.
Yeah.
It's not just a simpler phone. It's
Yeah.
almost like they're encouraging you to, you know, break up with your smartphone.
Uh-huh. Or at least see other phones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have the punked MPO1.
Yeah.
They focus more on, like, intentional switch off.
So more like a break.
Yeah, a digital detox.
Okay, I get it.
Choosing to disconnect for, like, specific times.
That makes sense.
And then there's the Nokia 3310.
Oh.
That one's a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really, like, directly target the whole digital detox thing.
Yeah,
But, you know, it has that retro appeal.
right.
And it's simple by design.
So people who want to be less connected just gravitate toward it.
Exactly. It's funny how they tap into different motivations for simplicity.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting.
But aesthetics, that's a big part of it, too.
Okay, so what's the aesthetic angle here?
Well, think minimalist design, you know?
Yeah.
Clean lines, natural materials,
Right.
like the light phone and the punked MP01, they're often shown in, like, nature
Okay.
or really serene settings in contrast to, you know, the busy digital world.
Yeah.
It's like they're selling a piece of tranquility, you know?
So it's not just about how the phone works,
Right.
but how it makes you feel.
Exactly. How it fits into your life aesthetically.
That makes sense.
And then you've got the Nokia 3310
Yeah.
with its bright colors and that almost playful design.
Right, right.
It's a totally different aesthetic, but
Yeah.
it still appeals to that desire for something less complicated, less sterile.
It's funny how even in this niche market, there's such a range.
It is, isn't it?
So what about robustness?
Ah.
Where does that come in?
Well, robustness is all about pushing back against, you know, the fragility of modern tech, the fact that everything breaks so easily,
Right.
and planned obsolescence, like they want you to buy a new one every year.
Yeah, yeah.
So dumb phones, they emphasize durability,
Yeah.
long battery life.
Yeah, it's like they're built to last.
Exactly. It's like a little rebellion against the upgrade cycle.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
How do these promises actually play out in real life?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, especially in a place like Sweden,
Right.
where, you know, everyone's super connected.
Well, a group of researchers in Sweden, they wanted to find out.
Right.
They actually swapped their smartphones for dumb phones.
Wow, for how long?
For a whole week.
A whole week? That's a serious commitment.
It is a real-life experiment in disconnecting.
How did it go?
Well, it wasn't exactly smooth sailing, let me tell you.
I can imagine.
They ran into some unexpected challenges
Okay.
that really show just how reliant we've become on smartphones.
Even in ways we don't realize, right?
Exactly.
So, like, what kind of hurdles are we talking about?
Well, one of the researchers,
Mhm.
author one, they talked about how awkward it was socially, not being able to connect instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Like just arranging to meet up with friends became way more difficult.
So even in tech-savvy Sweden,
Yeah,
going dumb can mess with your social life.
it really can. And it's not just about personal inconvenience either.
Okay.
Author one described feeling guilty, like
About what?
not being able to use travel apps or cashless payment systems.
Oh, right.
You know, things that are just expected in Sweden.
So there's this pressure, this expectation to be connected.
Yeah, even when you're trying to disconnect.
It's interesting.
What about the other researcher?
Yeah, did they have similar issues?
Author two, they had a different experience,
Okay.
but it was still really revealing.
How so?
Imagine suddenly needing a separate physical object for every single thing your smartphone does.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff to carry around.
Right. A calendar, a notebook, even a mini disc player for music.
Oh, wow.
And having to rely on all these objects, it actually caused author two more anxiety.
Interesting. So it's like the smartphone being gone
Yeah.
made its absence even more noticeable.
Exactly. It's like there was this void that needed to be filled.
Right.
It's a concept called vibrant matter.
I've never heard of that.
It's the idea that sometimes the absence of an object
Yeah.
makes you super aware of its presence, of all the things it usually does for you.
So even when you're trying to simplify technology or the lack of it makes things complicated.
Yeah, it's the paradox of digital disengagement.
That's a good way to put it.
It's not as easy as just ditching your smartphone.
Yeah.
It's about facing how deeply embedded technology is in our lives
Yeah.
and how it shapes our experiences in ways we don't even realize.
So it sounds like there's some definite downsides, but did they find anything good about the experience?
They did, actually.
Yep.
Some really interesting stuff. Both of them talked about feeling more present.
Present.
Yeah, more aware of their surroundings.
Yeah.
Like they were noticing things they hadn't before.
Because they weren't glued to a screen.
Exactly. Their senses were heightened, you know?
So it wasn't just being less distracted,
Right.
but actually experiencing the world more.
Yeah, more fully.
Huh, that's cool.
And that led to more interactions with people.
Really?
Author one said people would actually start conversations with them.
Because of the dumb phone.
Yeah, they'd see it and be curious.
So the lack of technology made them more approachable.
It's funny, isn't it?
It is.
It's like an invitation to connect.
That's a good point.
It also showed how technology can affect how we see ourselves.
Okay.
Both researchers felt this sense of liberation
Liberation. From what?
from constantly having to be available, you know?
Ah, from that pressure.
Exactly.
Makes you wonder if being constantly connected
Yeah.
actually makes us feel less in control.
Like we have less agency.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something researchers are starting to look into.
Really?
There's more and more evidence that too much smartphone use can be bad for our mental health, you know?
Stress, anxiety, all that stuff.
Yeah, so disconnecting, even for a bit,
Yeah.
could be a form of self-care,
That's interesting.
protecting your mental well-being.
That makes sense.
It's about making space for yourself,
Right.
even for boredom.
Boredom.
Yeah, it's important, you know?
Really?
Those moments when you're not doing anything,
Okay.
they're actually crucial for creativity.
Huh. Never thought about it like that.
We're so used to filling every moment with our phones with something that we've forgotten how to just be.
That's true.
And I think that's part of why dumb phones are coming back.
Interesting.
Because like people are saying enough is enough.
Yeah.
I want my time back, my attention back.
It's a big statement,
It is.
but bringing it back to the marketing. We've talked about simplicity, aesthetics, robustness. Do the dumb phone ads ever mention these deeper benefits?
Some do. Subtly, though.
Okay.
Like the light phone, they talk about creating space for what matters.
Right.
They even offer like guided meditations
Really?
to help people adjust to being less connected.
So it's more than just the phone itself. They're
Exactly.
trying to change your whole mindset.
It's fascinating.
It is. It's like a cultural shift.
Yeah, people reevaluating their relationship with technology.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
the researchers in Sweden, they talked about those societal expectations around smartphones.
Right. It's an important point.
What can we learn from that?
It shows that disengaging isn't just a personal choice.
Okay.
It's also about dealing with social norms, you know,
Yeah.
systems that are designed for everyone being connected.
So even if you're ready to ditch your smartphone, the world might not be.
Exactly.
True.
Think about it. Cashless payments, ride-sharing apps, instant messaging, all of that depends on having a smartphone.
It's like you're swimming upstream.
Yeah, going against the current.
But it's not impossible, right?
Not at all.
So how do you make it work?
I think it's about being conscious,
Okay.
disconnecting gradually, setting boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah, like times when you don't use your phone,
Okay.
finding workarounds, talking to the people around you.
So it's about making it work for you.
Exactly, creating your own digital detox assemblage.
Assemblage.
Yeah, like a toolkit
Okay.
that fits your life, your needs.
That makes sense.
It might include a dumb phone,
But
but also other things.
like what?
Setting screen time limits, having tech-free zones in your house,
Right. Like
scheduling digital detox periods.
to get a personalized plan
Yeah, for navigating the digital world in a way that feels good.
that you're in control of.
Exactly.
So it's not about rejecting technology completely.
Right.
It's about finding a balance that works for you.
That supports your well-being.
That's a good point. And that's what we're all trying to do, right?
Yeah, finding that balance is key.
It really is.
But I'm curious, as more people kind of embrace this idea of digital disengagement,
Yeah.
could it actually, like, affect how tech companies
Interesting question.
make their products?
I think it could, definitely.
Professor.
Well, if there's a big shift in what people want, how they behave,
Right.
tech companies have to pay attention.
Right, they want to sell stuff.
Exactly. They're driven by what sells.
So if more and more people want simpler tech,
Mm-hmm.
less intrusive stuff,
They'll have to adapt.
or they get left behind,
Right. It's like a feedback loop.
our choices as consumers can influence things.
Exactly.
Oh, kind of cool.
It is, and we're already seeing some changes.
Yeah. Like what?
You see those minimalist smartphones, digital well-being features, even the dumb phone comeback.
Right, right.
It shows that the tech industry is starting to notice.
Okay, but what would a world with less hyperconnectivity actually look like? It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, would our expectations change?
Imagine it's normal to disconnect during dinner.
Okay.
Taking a tech-free vacation is seen as cool, sophisticated.
Instead of weird.
Exactly. Workplaces encourage you to take breaks from your devices.
To help you focus, be more creative.
Right. It might sound idealistic.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth aiming for.
It would take a huge cultural shift, though.
Definitely.
But maybe we're moving in that direction.
It's exciting to think so.
It is. It's not just about us feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating a better society
A more balanced one,
where technology works for us.
not the other way around.
So what can we do to, make this happen?
Well, besides trying a dumb phone,
Right. Or setting those screen time limits.
I think talking about it is important,
Good.
like we're doing now.
Mhm.
The more we talk about it, the more awareness we raise.
Normalizing the idea that it's okay to question things.
Exactly. We can also support organizations that are pushing for ethical tech,
Right. Digital well-being.
And we can vote with our wallets.
What do you mean?
Choose to support companies that care about our privacy,
Yeah.
about our well-being, not just about us being glued to their products.
That makes sense.
Every choice we make, even the small ones, can make a difference.
That's a good point.
It all adds up.
So as we wrap up this deep dive
Yeah.
into dumb phones and disconnecting,
It's been quite a journey.
it has. I hope our listeners feel like they can make a difference,
I hope so, too.
that they have control over their digital lives.
It's all about making conscious choices.
Right, and helping create a more balanced tech world.
Absolutely. It's not about hating technology.
Yeah.
It's about taking back our time, our attention.
Reclaiming our well-being.
Exactly. Using technology on our own terms.
Not letting it use us.
Well said.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us
It's been a pleasure.
for this deep dive into the surprising world of dumb phones
Mm-hmm.
and digital disengagement.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.